I gotta wait till I need to be out of the car to do it.
You need room?
This is Leroy Rollins' channel.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to another update video. It is Monday morning, about 8:30, November the 4th, and let's recap the week, as we always do in these update videos. So starting off with my Saturday morning little check-ins, 189.7 pounds, which is pretty consistent with where it's been the last few weeks. I really thought maybe 200 was going to be in the cards by the end of the year, but as it stands right now, I don't think an extra 10 pounds is reasonable without getting just extra fat. Pushing my body weight up, anywhere close to 200 pounds right now probably isn't gonna be adding any new muscle to my frame. It's just gonna be adding extra weight to the scale, which is not always something you wanna do. Weight is a tool we can use to track progress, but it's not always an accurate tool, especially when it comes to gaining muscle. When it comes to fat loss, the scale is super helpful, of course, alongside with like visual changes and that kind of stuff. But the scale, when someone's dropping body fat, as long as it's the same scale and it's consistent, the same time, the same circumstances, when you haven't ate and, after you've gone to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty useful. But when it comes to gaining muscle, especially for someone who's advanced, which I'm, intermediate to advanced in my training career, it's not always a good tool to use, because I can step on the scale and say, weigh 200 pounds, and compare it to when I weigh right now 189, and 10 pounds, whoa, like you've made some gains. And it's like, well, probably not. Most of that 10 pounds is probably just extra water and fat on my body, right? So when it comes to using the scale, guys, use it intelligently. Don't always rely on it. I have clients who have tracked on the scale, and for 4, 5, 6 weeks, it maybe only fluctuates, maybe down a pound, 2 pounds maybe, and their bodies look extremely different, right? So that's where it can mess with people's heads when they don't, if they're really just chasing that number. Like, I always have clients tell me, okay, what's your goal weight and why is that your goal weight? And I think that's a big one, because a lot of, especially women, get hooked on this number, right? So let's say it's, she's hooked on 120 pounds. I want to weigh 120 pounds, 120 pounds, 120 pounds. And it's like, well, why? And they're like, well, because that's what I want to weigh. And it's like, well, why? And that answer isn't always there. I explain to people that, like, what 120 pounds in your head might look like, you might look better at 130, with, different, you've lost some body fat, you've gained some muscle, especially like, if you've gained some muscle on your butt and muscle on your legs, a little bit on your shoulders, like, you can look entirely different. And just because it doesn't say 120 doesn't mean that you've failed, and it doesn't mean that, you might look at 130 and freak out, but then you look in the mirror and you're so happy. So it's like, don't get hooked on the number. So what I'm trying to say is, for me right now, the scale is a tool, but it's not my number one tool. The biggest thing for me right now is, how do I look visually, like in the mirror, in my check-in photos, like how do I look, and how am I performing in the gym? Because those are the two things that are gonna, display the progress that I've made. I'm the heaviest I've ever been consistently, which is like 10 pounds up from last off season. So, hopefully some of that is muscle, but for 10 pounds up right now, and then to go 20 pounds up to 200 from last off season, there's not much point to it, because it's just going to be extra fat, and then it's just extra work when I have to diet down again, because instead of me losing, say I got to get down to 150 again for prep, like for show day, if I'm 175 pounds last off season, okay, that's like, 25 pounds of weight to get off. But if I'm 195 pounds, that's 45 pounds of weight to get off. That's a lot more weight to lose, and that's a lot more work to do. So, right now, I'll probably maintain this weight for the rest of the off season. It might go up a little bit, 191, 192 maybe, but I can't see it getting up to 200. And even at 190, that's still 40 pounds over my typical stage weight. So that's still a lot of weight to lose. So that kind of dictates where the off season ends, kind of dictates when I have to start prep, because I've never had to lose this much weight before when it comes to competing. So that's something that I've been thinking about the last probably week and a half to 2 weeks, is just like the position I'm going to be in when I start prep, and if I'm going to have to diet longer, or if I'm going to have to do like a quick, 3-4 week cleanup before prep actually starts, because I've never had to lose this much weight before. So it's not a bad thing, because I know I've made progress, and like I'm super strong in the gym, and like even like I feel good, like I feel big, I feel like I've gained some muscle. But it's also a little bit of a mess with your head, because it's more weight to lose, right? And prep's hard enough as it is when I do like 30 weeks. So do I have to do an extra 5 weeks? Do I have to diet harder? Like these are like kind of unknown questions that I haven't had to answer yet. So I'm excited, but also like, it's something on my mind, right? So yeah, anyways, let's talk about how the last week of training has gone, which has been good. I almost, which you guys would have saw if you watched my push day video, I almost got buried on the bench press the other day. So I was doing, working up to my top set of like a 5 to 6, which was 280 for a set of 5, which was good. Happy with that. And then my back off set was 240 pounds. And I was shooting for anywhere from like 10 to 15, somewhere in there. And I was going, and it was going good. It was 6, 7, 8, and it was just flying. If I still have the video, if I haven't deleted it, I'll play it. I'll put it on screen so you guys can see. But like the first like 1 to 10 reps was like smooth, like really smooth. And I think that's something that when you touch a heavier weight first, like if I was to start with 240, it wouldn't have felt as light. But because I did 280 before, it was like when I backed off to 240, that's 40 pounds less, and it just felt much lighter. And I don't know, that's a little trick. If you guys haven't tried that, try it out, because the bar feels extremely light after you go very heavy. But then we did the 240, and I got 10, and then I was like, okay, like 12 for sure. I got 12, and I was like, okay, I think I got 3 in me. I think we can get to 15, and 15 sounds like a sweet number. 240 for 15, that's awesome. That's PR for sure. So I got the 12th, and then I got the 13th, and it was like a bit of a fight. And then I went down for that 14th rep, and it didn't go anywhere. Thankfully, there was a guy training a client, actually. He's a trainer at the gym. And there's like catchers on the bench, like the little sidearms, because it's like a professional grade bench. But they were too low, and I never think of it because like I've never had to use them, so I didn't think to like adjust it at all. But I was actually, you'll see like when the bar's down, like it's not on the catchers, it's on me. And I was still like holding it. It wasn't crushing me, but I was like I was stuck still. Like I had clips on, so I couldn't like dump it. And like I don't know if I've ever had to do that. So I didn't really know when I was going to get out. So he comes over, and like he had asked like in the video, he's like when I watched it back, he's like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, but like get it off." So he comes over and he like lifts it off, and we were fine, but yeah, no worse for wear. Then we did like the typical like, flies, incline press on the Smith. Then we did some shoulder work, and that was it for that workout. It was just like a chest and shoulders, because then I had a client come up Friday evening, Isabelle, and we did like arms. So I didn't do any tricep work, and it was a really good arm workout. We did supersets. We superset by and try, and we did 3 sets of everything. We did 4 or 5 different supersets. It was just like out of the blue, like, "You want to do arms?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So that's what we did, and it was a super good workout. Like I was like really pumped up. And then on the weekend, on Saturday, myself and 3 of my clients, Jeff, Kyle, and Aaron, went to Ottawa, which is about 2 hours from where I live, and there was a show on the weekend, so we went to check that out. I wanted them to kind of get an idea of how a show goes. They never been, they don't really know, and I think there's some value in going to see a show before you've competed, just so you have an idea of how it all goes. And they enjoyed it. It was a good experience for them to see how it all structured. Aaron's planning to do probably either late next summer, because he's only 19 and he's got a lot of room to grow. So late next summer, early fall is the plan. And then Kyle and Jeff are doing the Coburg show, which is in April. So they're both going to be starting prep probably like December, January. Jeff is pretty lean and Kyle's naturally a leaner person, and I don't think getting fat off either one of them is going to take a whole lot of effort. So I'm excited for both of them. So yeah, that was cool. We got to see that, and then we came back. We did legs, which was a hefty leg session. So I worked up to 400, and I gotta get Herc out of the way. You guys can't see him, but he keeps getting in front of the camera. 485 on the deadlift for a set of 6, which is steadily climbing every single week. So I'm super happy with that. It's getting to the point where it's starting to fight me a little bit to get the weight up, but I still want that 500 before the year's over with. 500 for 5 is what I want. 500 for 5. You guys are hearing me say it. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. And then went into squats, did the first set of 10 with 340, if I remember correctly, and it flew. Like 340 went up pretty good. I was happy with that. And then up 5 pounds from last week was 405 on the bar for my top set of 5. And so mad that I only got 4 reps. Like, I was actually pissed. Like, in the video, the sound's muted so you can't hear it, but I was like, get the up, because after the second rep, because it was moving slow and I was getting frustrated, because last week I did 400 for 5 and it went up like really good. So I don't know, I was not impressed, but because of like traveling to Ottawa and stuff, like we were sitting in a car for 2 hours up there, then we were sitting watching the show, and then sitting in 2 hours on the way back, and like my food wasn't perfect, and it just, when that stuff's not aligned, I know there's a difference, and I think that's probably what got me. Plus the fact that it was pretty heavy on the bar, but still it should have went better than it did, and I was a little upset by it. And then afterwards we did just some leg extensions. We did lunges. What else did we do? Split squats. Those were good. Jeff has never done legs with me before, and he's not a big fan of doing legs, so he was in some pain, and I'm sure, like, I'm sore. Today's Monday, and I'm still very, very sore, so I can just imagine how he's feeling. And then afterwards, we did like this finisher where you did 2 minutes of walking lunges, then you did goblet squats with holding like a 45-pound plate, heels elevated, so you're like really smashing the quads. So you did 2 minutes of lunges, 20 reps of the goblet squat, and then a wall sit to failure. That was our finisher for quads, and that was nasty. That was super painful, but it was good. It's nice to do. I'm a big fan of the finishers. Like, I think I'm gonna incorporate like some kind of finisher in every workout, just like some giant set or superset or like crazy drop set that just like burns the muscle out, because I don't know, I'm a big fan of it. And I've seen Joe Bennett, hypertrophy coach, if you guys follow him on Instagram. If you don't, you should, because he's a super smart guy. But he posts all these like crazy little combo exercises and stuff, and I like save them all, and every once in a while I'll go through and like pick something to do. But he's got some cool ones in there, so I'm gonna start throwing them around a lot, because it's fun, and it's a good way to like end it, and you feel pumped up after, and you feel good. So yeah. This week is Megan's show. She competes on Saturday, so we're gonna go up. I only work till noon on Friday, so Carrie and I are gonna go up on Friday, get settled in early. She's gonna get settled in because she's going up Friday morning with her boyfriend, and then we're gonna link up and make sure she's on point. We did like a trial peak on Friday, just increased her carbs, and she like filled out pretty good. So we're gonna do that again Friday, and then Saturday, of course, she'll be should be nice and full, and we'll just try to hold that for the day. But yeah, super excited. Her first show, she looks unreal. She's super lean. She's feeling good. I know by midweek she's probably gonna be a little fatigued, because she's kind of like, we like dropped her carbs early in the week, and then we're gonna load them by the end of the week. So I know she'll be fighting fighting to keep moving the rest of the week. But as long as she can get through till Thursday, she'll be all right. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll be vlogging that day, her first show. So yeah, you guys can see that next week. And yeah, update video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I gotta go to work. I just finished cooking some meals this morning because I didn't do it yesterday. But that's one of the joys of working at 9:30 is that you still have lots of time in the morning. So I still get up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock the latest. So I can still get stuff done before work, which is never a bad thing. So anyways, guys, I got to get ready to go. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. If you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.